And I'm going to try my best to explain where I'm coming from on this one. Let me make something very clear, though, at the start. I am absolutely unmoved in my staunch belief that it will be a massive, 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 massive mistake if we don't do business in this January window. But I'm going to tell you why I think we need to manage our expectations a little bit. Look, loads to get through tonight. And I guess I just feel at this point I'm unsure if we're going to get a signing. And that's where I wanted to come on and be honest with everybody. Speaking to David and looking at what other journalists are writing, and I just don't want to set people up for heartache in January. I'll still be the same me, still calling out what I think will be a lack of business if it isn't done. But just trying to gauge everything at the minute, I think I'd be a liar if I came on here and said that I feel really confident that we're going to get a signing in January. I don't. But I just feel that if we haven't learned from the mistakes of the past, we're going to repeat them, or we'll be doomed to repeat them. And when things are going well, like now, we always see that we don't go and attack the window. If you get where I'm coming from, like, it feels like every year we get to this position and loads of people are suddenly won over, believing that, well, we don't need anything. And then the owners are under no pressure to go and sign somebody. But often that comes back to bite us in the backside. And I think it will again, which is why I want us to be more outspoken and almost demand that the position, at least midfield, is addressed in this window. But as I said, names are thin on the ground. Concrete links are thin on the ground. You can make an argument that maybe Edwards and Hughes are playing their cards close to their chest. And my God, I hope that's the case. But I wonder if we're just going to get another window of, well, maybe we'll get more contract stuff that'll drag it through the window with regards to the three boys that we need to sign up. And then the window will go by and then they'll hope for the best that nothing happens. I think it's on us as fans to be proactive and start saying that it isn't acceptable. Because I like to read up on the Athletic comment section, the Echo comment section, and anywhere I can find Liverpool fans and read what they're thinking. And it's been kind of refreshing in the last day or two to see that even on platforms that I would say are very supportive of the financial stance the owners have taken, people are still saying that it would be a mistake if we didn't do business this January, which I find quite refreshing, to be honest, because I think it would be. So let me know how you guys feel about it. No signings is a piss take. We only want a backup CM. So yeah, look, don't take it for granted that there won't be any signings. Like, this isn't me saying 100%. I can just give you the vibe I'm getting when I speak to people. And I'm certainly expecting to be disappointed. But I hope I'm wrong. Craig, will FSG keep everything confidential as professional management should? They keep the cards close to the chest indeed. Yeah, and that's fine if we do some business, mate. But I don't know if we are going to do business or not. And that's what worries me. Because I'm all for Liverpool keeping their cards close to their chest if it means we get somebody. But at what point then do you start saying that hope is misfounded or unfounded and we're going to see the same rinse and repeat stuff? Because it worries me when I see the Athletic and the likes of James Pearce posting out pieces that are kind of almost setting us up for no signings and saying, well, Liverpool may bring in somebody, may not bring in somebody, and they're happy with the squad, and the form of Ryan Gravenberch meant X or Y, blah, blah, blah. I don't know a single Liverpool fan that doesn't think Ryan Gravenberch's been amazing. But I also don't know another Liverpool fan who doesn't think we're running the risk of an injury by overplaying him. And we should be able to look at what's going on at Arsenal and Saka and his injury and think, well, youngsters being overplayed, this can happen and we need to try and mitigate that. Because speaking from a position of strength now, it's easy to go, oh yeah, we're in great position. We don't need to sign anybody. But what happens if, like what's happened to us in the past, comes again and we start to have a wobble and Arsenal build a bit of momentum? I think the best thing we can do to try and mitigate that is to get this signing in. And what I don't want to hear, and I almost cringed a little bit when I was speaking with David Lynch earlier and he said, well, if the club wanted or got the word from Zubamendi that he wanted to come in the summer, maybe hold off. And I'm just thinking, no holding off, because holding off has just been too long now. This one position's needed to be resolved for a long time. and letting another window go by and the hope that Zubimendi comes and the hope that we deliver the league title, I just think it would be the wrong decision. Paul said FSG rolling the dice, hoping for a double six. Yes, and that's exactly the way I'd describe it, Paul. Yes, that is exactly it, mate. In the summer, as disappointed as I was, and I was very disappointed at the summer transfer business, nothing against Chiesa and Mamardashvili as signings, but it wasn't what we needed. So in the summer, I sat back, thought about my disappointment, thought about the squad, and then I came to the conclusion that, okay, at least I can perhaps make an excuse in my mind that we have a new manager in and a new sporting director, and maybe they need to get their feet under the table. And because Zubimendi didn't happen, maybe they need to reevaluate the midfielder market. And I could understand it. I didn't agree with it, but I could understand it. Like I've said about Trent Alexander-Arnold and the contract situation, I'm going through the checklist of excuses here in my mind. And I'm ticking them off with, well, they can't use this one, they can't use this one. And I'm at the point now of there is no more excuses. There is no more, this is a tricky market. There is no more, Arna's happy with what he has. It's just not true at this point. We need to get the midfielder. Here's the poll. How many signings do you expect in January? And I've gone for none, 1 or 2. Because I don't think 3 is going to be an option. I don't think it's even worth putting it down as an option for you guys. So 3 options there for you. How many signings do you expect in January? Now remember, this isn't me asking what you want. Because we all want 1 or 2. You know, we all want midfielder, maybe a left back, maybe a centre back. But I'm talking about the key word in that post is expect. Charlie, how are you, sir? Said, hey, Craig, I know people will look at FSG, but there's no way they haven't made money available. I blame Hughes and Edwards. If they don't get it, their first target, they don't have second choices. It's hashtag Hughes out, you said. So, yeah, look, when I speak with David, he feels similar to yourself, in that there will be money there, and if a decision is made not to strengthen, that decision is going to be from Hughes and Edwards. So for me, look, I look at it differently. I think like in any business, everything trickles down from the top and you set the tone from the top. But I can't argue with you that I'm sure there is money there. I'm sure that there is. But what I don't know is if John would say to the boys, well, I think that we need to strengthen. So maybe Hughes and Edwards have this one target that they can't get till the summer. But if I'm John W. Henry, I'm wanting silverware. You know, I'm wanting my new manager parading a trophy. So I don't really care who's to blame. For me, if there is blame to be had, then we have a problem. You know, as a fan base, we have a problem. Adam Randall said, I'm worried about the transfer window. So I've gone between a few things, mate. Thinking that, okay, maybe it is just cards close to the chest stuff, but I don't know if I've gotten too soft on the whole transfer stance, you know, because I'm trying to be more understanding and a bit less aggro about the owners, because I understand it wears on people when I'm saying where's the money, John, all the time and calling out the owners. But God almighty, it's difficult, because I don't want to be sitting here in February talking about, oh, well, that window got away from us. We gave them the benefit of the doubt as the window went on and then nothing. That could be a mistake. So I'm stuck in this position of, do I say what I want to say, which is get the fucking signings done? What are you at? Hurry up, stop being cheap. Because that's really how I feel deep down. But I also don't want to be a destabilising factor in our fan base, and I don't want to bring negativity and toxicity to a time in the season where, you know, we're 7 points clear. So I'm kind of torn about what to do and what way to pitch my own thoughts on it. So Hoarder said FSG is risking our title hopes. Well, the club are. Let's just say the club are. We'll go with the club because some people think it's on Hughes and Edwards. Charlie said, call it out, Craig. Your voice, be you. Cool. Well, look, if you want me to call it out, I'll go further than you probably... I think it's a fucking disgrace that this is allowed to happen. That they are allowed to run this football club in such a miserly way where there is only ever excuses and never action. Never. You know, wages are an excuse. Well, you cleared up a load of wages. You brought in 18 million in extra savings there in the summer. Why aren't we seeing that? Oh, contract extensions, but you haven't extended them yet. And even if you did extend them, then that's still getting us back to the status quo. And now we're in a position where we've already made 80 million euro from the Champions League this season. You know, that's not my words. That's out there in black and white. So you can find that. And then we've got Premier League money coming in, of course, top of the table, loads of games on TV. So money shouldn't be a problem. So if money isn't the barrier, like as in the ability to spend isn't the barrier, it's one of two things then. An inability to find the right players or cheap owners. And I don't mind which one of those two you pick. If you think it's the inability to find players, then we need to have a conversation about Hughes and Edwards. Or if you think it's the owners, which I do, then we need to have a conversation about what we can do to change that.